Guys, have you ever woken up from a dream and been like, what in the actual, like, you question everything you thought you knew about reality? Yeah, me too. But what if I told you that some people's sleep experiences are so bizarre, so out there, that they make regular nightmares look like a trip to Disneyland? We're talking about sleepwalking murders, people saying the craziest stuff in their sleep, and their partners recording it. And even dreams that solve real-life crimes. It's like, the line between being awake and being asleep just gets totally blurry. So, buckle up, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's dive into the top 5 most bizarre sleep stories that'll leave you sleeping with one eye open tonight. This story is seriously messed up, guys, like, you won't believe what you're about to hear. Okay, so picture this. It's 1987 Canada. Kenneth Parks, a seemingly normal 23-year-old dude, is having some serious insomnia. He's a young man, just trying to get by, but life is throwing him some major curveballs. He's stressed, he's got money problems, and sleep is just not happening. Imagine lying awake night after night, your mind racing with worries about bills and the future. One night he falls asleep on the couch, exhausted. His body finally gives in, but his mind? Not so much. Here's where it gets crazy. While he's asleep, Kenneth gets up, gets dressed, and drives 14 miles to his in-laws' house. 14 miles, guys, that's not just around the corner, I know, right? Like, how do you even drive asleep? But it gets worse. Imagine navigating through the night, completely unaware of what you're doing. He gets to their house, grabs a kitchen knife, and he kills his mother-in-law and seriously injures his father-in-law. It's like a nightmare come to life. Afterward, he drives to the police station, covered in blood, and is like, guys, I think I did something bad, but I don't remember any of it. Can you imagine the horror and confusion? Turns out, he wasn't lying. He had no recollection of the entire night. His mind was a complete blank. The craziest part, he was found not guilty by reason of sleepwalking. The court actually believed that he was not in control of his actions. I mean, can you imagine? Sleepwalking is one thing, like stumbling into a wall or eating a whole tub of ice cream, but murder? It's beyond comprehension. It's terrifying, but also kind of sad. This guy was so overwhelmed by stress and lack of sleep that his body did something unthinkable. Like, how much stress and sleep deprivation does it take to drive 14 miles and, it's a chilling thought. Experts say that sleepwalking, especially in cases like this, can be triggered by extreme stress, sleep disorders, and even some medications. It's a complex and frightening phenomenon. It's like your brain is half awake, half asleep, and doing things you'd never consciously do. The boundaries between sleep and wakefulness blur in the most dangerous ways. It's like something out of a horror movie, but it actually happened. This isn't fiction, it's real life. And it makes you wonder, like, what else are we capable of while we're asleep? What other hidden dangers lurk in the depths of our subconscious? It's terrifying and fascinating at the same time. The human mind is a mysterious and powerful thing, capable of both incredible and horrifying acts. Okay, so this one's a little less murdery and a little more hilarious. You guys remember that blog, Sleepwalking Man? It went totally viral a few years back. Basically, this woman started recording her husband's sleep talking because it was so weird and funny. I'm talking about full-on conversations, guys. Like, one time he apparently said, "I'm not a real zebra, I'm just pretending to get free food at the zoo." I mean, what? Where does your brain even come up with that stuff when you're asleep? Another time, he apparently shouted, "Honey, the dog stole my passport and is now the ambassador to Belgium." I'm dying, guys. It's like his subconscious is a stand-up comedian or something. The blog became this huge sensation because, let's be real, we've all wondered what our loved ones say in their sleep. It's like a glimpse into their weird, hidden thoughts. And sometimes those thoughts are just straight up hilarious. Experts say that sleep talking is super common, especially in kids. It usually happens during lighter stages of sleep, and most of the time people don't even remember doing it. But the Sleepwalking Man blog took it to a whole new level. It's like, we got a front row seat to this guy's bizarre, hilarious dreamscape. And it makes you wonder, like, what other weird stuff are we saying in our sleep? I'm kind of scared to find out, to be honest. Chapter 3. Sleep paralysis demons, real or hallucinations? Okay guys, this next one is seriously creepy. We're diving into the eerie world of sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis is basically when you wake up but you can't move or speak. Imagine waking up and feeling completely paralyzed. It's like being trapped inside your own body, and it can be absolutely terrifying. You can see and hear everything, but you can't react. But what makes it even scarier is that people often experience hallucinations during sleep paralysis. These aren't just any hallucinations. And I'm not talking about cute little bunnies hopping around. No, these are much more sinister. I'm talking about shadow people, demons, and other creepy figures that seem totally real. They can appear at the foot of your bed or even closer. People have reported feeling like something's sitting on their chest, choking them, or whispering in their ear. The sensation can be so intense that it feels like a real physical presence. Some even feel like they're being dragged out of bed or that someone's watching them from the corner of the room. The fear can be overwhelming. I mean, can you imagine? You're lying there, completely helpless, and you see this terrifying figure approaching you. You're lying there, completely helpless, and you see this terrifying figure approaching you. It's like something out of a horror movie. It's like something out of a horror movie, but it's happening in your own bedroom. The place where you should feel safest becomes a scene of terror. The science behind it is actually pretty interesting. Researchers have been studying sleep paralysis for years. Basically, during sleep paralysis, your brain is caught between being awake and being in REM sleep, which is when you dream. This in-between state can cause your brain to mix reality with dreams. So, you're conscious, but your body is still in this dreamlike state, which can lead to hallucinations. Your mind is awake, but your body is still dreaming. But even knowing the science, it doesn't make it any less scary. The experience can be so vivid and real that it's hard to shake off the fear. The next time you wake up and feel like you can't move, just remember, it's probably just sleep paralysis. And that shadow in the corner is probably just your imagination. Probably. But in that moment, it can feel all too real. Chapter 4. The Boy Who Never Slept. A medical mystery. This story is both fascinating and kind of heartbreaking. It's about a boy who, according to reports, never slept a wink in his entire life. I know, right? Like, how is that even possible? This boy from Vietnam apparently suffered from a rare genetic condition that made it impossible for him to fall asleep. Can you imagine, like, never experiencing the feeling of drifting off to sleep, never having a dream? Doctors were baffled by his case. They ran all sorts of tests, but they couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. It was like his body had forgotten how to sleep. And you would think that not sleeping would make him, like, totally dysfunctional, right? But apparently, he lived a relatively normal life. He worked on his family's farm, he socialized with friends, he even stayed up all night playing cards. But still, you have to wonder what it would be like to never experience sleep. Like, did he ever feel tired? Did he ever wish he could just close his eyes and drift off? His story is a reminder that the human body is capable of some pretty incredible things even when it comes to sleep. And it makes you appreciate the simple act of sleeping even more. Chapter 5. The Dream That Solved a Murder. When Dreams Turn Detective. Okay guys, this last story is like something out of a true crime documentary. It's about a woman who had a dream that actually helped solve a murder. I know, right? Like, dreams can actually be useful for something other than freaking us out. It's almost like our subconscious mind is trying to tell us something important. So this woman, she starts having these vivid dreams about a man she's never met before. It's not just a fleeting image. It's like she's living through his last moments. In her dreams, he's telling her about how he was murdered, giving her details about the crime, and even describing the location of his body. It's like he's reaching out to her from beyond the grave. At first, she brushes it off as just a weird dream. I mean, who wouldn't? It's not every day you dream about a murder mystery. But the dreams keep happening, night after night, and they're so vivid, so real that she can't shake this feeling that something's not right. It's like her mind won't let her rest until she does something about it. So, she does what any normal person would do. She goes to the police. Imagine the courage it took to walk in there and tell them about her dreams. Now you can imagine how this must have sounded to them, right? A woman walks in claiming she solved a murder in her dream. It's like something out of a movie. A woman walks in claiming she solved a murder in her dream. But something about her story, her conviction, must have convinced them to at least look into it. Maybe it was the sheer detail she provided, but something about her story, her conviction must have convinced them to at least look into it. And guess what? The details she gave them in her dream, they matched up with a missing persons case. And guess what? The details she gave them in her dream, they matched up with a missing persons case. It was like the pieces of a puzzle falling into place. They went to the location she described in her dream, and they actually found the man's body. I know, right? Chills. It's like her dream was a map leading them to the truth. Her dream had actually led them to the crime scene. It's almost like she was channeling some kind of supernatural GPS. The craziest part, the information she gave them in her dream, it was stuff that only the killer could have known. It's like she had a direct line to the victim's final moments. So not only did her dream help solve a murder, but it also helped catch the killer. It's like her subconscious mind was working overtime to bring justice. It's like proof that sometimes our dreams can tap into something bigger than ourselves, something that our conscious minds could never even imagine. It's a reminder that the human mind is more powerful and mysterious than we often give it credit for. Sweet dreams or not. So there you have it, guys. The top 5 most bizarre sleep stories that will probably make you want to sleep with the lights on tonight. From sleepwalking murders to dreams that solve crimes, it's clear that sleep can be a wild, unpredictable ride. What do you guys think? Have you ever experienced anything strange or unexplainable in your sleep? Let me know in the comments below because I am dying to hear your stories. And as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more creepy, intriguing content. Sweet dreams.